All right. First one comes from Samuel Paul on Facebook saying, I renewed my EAD and haven't gotten any message or letter. Is it meant to be like that, or should I expect a card in the mail?
You should expect a receipt notice for renewing your EAD, and you should expect a card in the mail.
Walex Cool Minds on Facebook. I filed an I-360 in September of 2019. I got my first prima facie, which expires October, and another one was sent last month. My case has been pending for 15 months now. I sent a work permit application in December of 2019, and up till now, I have not gotten a work permit. I only got the renewal of the prima facie. What should I do?
What you haven't done is file an adjustment. So this is one of the big mistakes people make when they file VAWA applications. They file the I-360 VAWA, but they don't file an adjustment with it. And they put their I-765, their work permit, with the VAWA application thinking they've applied for the work permit. But you're not entitled to get a work permit on the basis of just having a VAWA filed unless you get the VAWA approved, and they're taking over 2 years to get the VAWA approved. However, whether the abuse was through a resident or through a citizen, priority dates are current right now for both. So whether it was a resident or a citizen you were married to, you can file an adjustment application with the VAWA, and then you're entitled to the work permit, the I-765, not based on that you have a pending VAWA, but based on the fact that you have a pending adjustment. So file the adjustment, you'll get a work permit. And then you would have to file a second work permit application under Section C9.
Okay, Stacy on Instagram, my work permit / travel parole card expires in January, so I filed a renewal application in October. I still haven't received a receipt from them yet. It was tracked and USCIS received the documents in November. I'm worried now that I haven't heard anything from them, and my work permit will expire soon.
Well, hopefully you'll get a receipt. You should get a receipt soon. They're very backed up. But as long as you get the receipt before the expiration of your work permit, you can use that receipt to extend your authorized state of work for an extra 180 days. Which, by the way, I'm sorry, Vanessa, which really, really shows, based on 2 questions we've already had with the work permit, you have to, for the renewals, file your renewal at least 4 months before the expiration. So that way you don't run into these problems.
Deborah Stevens on Facebook. I filed an I-130 petition for my daughter who is over 21 years of age in December of 2019. I have only received a letter saying that they received my application, nothing else. How long is this process usually?
What was the question again? I apologize. You broke up a little bit.
So she filed an I-130 petition for her daughter who is over 21 years old in December of 2019. She only received a letter saying that they received the application, but nothing else. How long would this process usually take?
It's gonna be a 4 or 5 year process. You may not hear for several years, but priority dates of 2015. Whether you got the approval today or you get the approval in 12 months from today or 24 months from today, ultimately your daughter is gonna get a green card on the same day, which is when the priority date is reached, which is 4 to 5 years away. So don't worry so much when the I-130 gets approved. Just make sure it gets approved within the next 2, 3, 4 years. But whether it gets approved today or gets approved in 2 years from today, your date is established on the waiting list based on the date you filed, which is your priority date, which ultimately your daughter will get, as I said, get your green card on the same day.
Okay, Cristiano El Elion on Facebook. During the asylum interview, what is practical evidence that one can provide to the officer?
Your credible testimony. So the most important thing that you can provide an officer is evidence of that you are telling a true story. So how do you tell evidence that you're telling a true story? You have details. A detailed story is more believable and more credible than somebody with a vague story. And then obviously that detailed story has to show a fear of past or present or future persecution. And then the other details you show are country reports or other evidence to show that, excuse me, that your story matches up to what is being reported in that particular country.
Max Taylor on YouTube. USCIS requested a letter of good moral character. I already got my EAD, Social Security, and work permit. I'm now waiting on my green card. Is it good or bad that they requested that document?
What did they request?
They requested a letter of good moral character.
And he's doing it based on what? Who's sponsoring him?
Doesn't say.
Well, if you got a letter of good, I don't think it's good or bad. I really never heard of immigration requesting a letter of good moral character on an adjustment, although you obviously have to prove good moral character. But if there's nothing in your background that would suggest that you don't have good moral character, then they wouldn't generally request that. So I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. I think it's an odd thing that they requested, unless, of course, you have something in your background that would suggest that you don't have good moral character.
Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.